Help support the companies that support our community. I'm starting out with a blank here. It's 1.5 by 1.5 and 4.5 inches long. This is a SpectraPly. I did a bowl out of this last week too. This is just another piece with different colors. So today I'm going to make a bottle opener and an icebreaker handle. So we just came out with the icebreakers a couple of days ago. They're up on the website and I'll show you that here towards the end of the video. So to prep the blank, you want to use a Forstner bit. And so what that does is it makes a nice flat surface on one end of it, and then we will use the 7/16 drill bit to drill down into it so we can put an insert in it. And I have it marked on the drill bit where the depth that I need for the inserts. So I've been using the glue boost to glue these in, and it seems to be holding really well, and it's super quick and easy. So I just put a little bit around there, put the insert in, and then I use the tailstock, a cone center on the tailstock, to countersink it down in there. You want to countersink it in about 1/8 of an inch or so, just so it's not sticking up proud, and then I hit it with the activator on the outside, because a little bit of that glue, as I'm pushing that insert in, comes right out to the end, so it kind of activates that glue there. And then we'll get this out of the chuck, take the chuck off, and put the bottle stopper mandrel on. And don't forget, so next weekend, March 14th, 15th, and 16th, is the Oregon Woodturning Symposium in Albany, Oregon. So we're going to be there. If you're in the area, please stop by and say hi. I'll have a link down below in the description where it's at. So I put that little collar over the mandrel. So that little adapter is for the whiskey stoppers, our 630 whiskey stoppers, but it's just a little bit smaller than the bottle openers, so I use that when I'm doing the bottle openers, and I make it just a little bit proud. So when you're going to bring the tailstock up, don't press it into the wood before you turn it on, because you want to make sure it's centered. If you bring it up there and just stick it into the wood, it might be a little bit off. So I turn it on first, then press it in. So I'm going to use a skew to get this all true and shape it. So I'm just kind of tapering it down on both ends. So I'll bring it down on the bottle opener side, and then bring it down on the ice pick side as well. So I'm going to give one of these away. So if you would like a chance to win one, in your comments below, leave the word icebreaker, and I'm sorry, but US only. So Robin and I will pick somebody at random to win it. So just somewhere in your comments, leave the word icebreaker. So the other end of this is going to be the icebreaker, and it is the same size as the wine stoppers, the top of it. So I'm going to bring that down a little bit, and I'm going to use the calipers to size that. Normally, you can just use the mandrel on the other side without that adapter and bring it right down to that little collar. But because I'm going to drill in another insert on this other side, I don't want to drill that hole and then try and thread it on to the other side to shape it, because it might be off a little bit. And then I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to use the beading tool to bead the whole thing. So this is my, I think, 4th one I've made of these. So the very first one, I just got lucky, and I drilled both holes on it, and then I went ahead and started beading it, and luckily they just laid out right. And then at that point I realized that's not going to work every time. So I switched to doing it this way. So don't drill that other hole in there yet, because chances are they're not going to line up. Go ahead and bead, 3/4 of it, or actually I'm going to bead the whole thing. I'm going to bead it, and I'll switch cameras here real quick, and you'll see that it didn't match up just perfectly. So that is when we're going to use that Forstner bit again on the other end and drill for the insert. So the beading tool is really nice as far as, you know, you just do your shape, you don't have to sand it, and then you go switch right to the beading tool, and because you're recutting all of the wood again, and then you can go over it with like 400 or 600 just to kind of get in between the grooves and stuff like that. But it's a nice quick way to do it. These take about 10 minutes to make. So you'll see coming up here where it didn't quite line up, and that's when we'll go back to that Forstner bit. So that little live center in there has a teeny little point in it, and I'm going to use that little point when I get the Forstner bit to line right back up in there. And sometimes if you just bring the tailstock up and stick it in there, it will be off quite a bit because it wasn't true. That's why I always turn the lathe on and then put that point in. So you can see there's a little bit of material there left. So I'll put the Forstner bit on, get that all flushed up, and same process like we did on the other end. We'll just get it cleaned up, switch to the 7/16 drill bit, and then drill for the insert. And it's just the same process with this, just a little bit of the glue, and I'm going to press it in. The cone center works really nice too. It automatically countersinks it in there. You run it in until the cone hits the wood, and it countersinks it just perfectly. We'll just hit it with a little more activator, and it is all good to go on that end. So the other end, where it was right up against that adapter, it should be, if you're using the beading tool, you should be able to get it really close. I mean, the tip of it runs right up against it. So there's just, on this one, there's just a little teeny ridge there. So I'm not going to use a Forstner bit or anything. I'm just going to sand that little ridge off, and then we can get some oil on this. And with the oil, I'm just using the walnut oil again. I really like this stuff. I used it on the black bowl last week, and I think it just darkened it up too much. It was almost made it just black. So I probably, if I do another one of those, I won't use the walnut oil. If I'm not going for a black look, it depends on what you're making, but I probably do a different finish on it so you can see the grain a little bit more. There we go. It is all done. So I threaded on the bottle opener and the new ice pick. So like I said in the video, leave the word icebreaker in your comment down below, and Robin and I will put them all in a randomizer and pick a winner. Sorry, US only, just due to shipping. So I will mail you one of these, a complete set. So yeah, and we have them up on the website, so I will put a link down below in the description for those. So the ice picks are the same high quality stainless steel as all of our bottle stoppers and bottle openers. It's the same diameter as the tab pull and the wine stopper, so they're all interchangeable if you wanted to switch them out. Once again, we're going to be next weekend, or next week, we won't have a video out. We're going to be at the Oregon Woodturning Symposium, and that is the 14th, 15th, and 16th in Albany, Oregon. So if you're in the area or are going to come down for it, please stop by the booth and say hi, and we will have the new ice picks there as well. All right, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Take care.